Are we in a quorum call?
We are.
I ask that the quorum call be vitiated.
Without objection.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today in support of Senator Vitter's amendment number 1473, which requires the Army to maintain no fewer than 32 Brigade combat teams, which are also referred to as BCTs. I support this amendment because cutting the Brigade combat teams is cutting the core of the Army's structure and their ability to perform their mission. This amendment requires the Army to maintain a Brigade combat team level of 32. Currently, the Army is planning on cutting these to 30 and continue to cutting to a point where we will have a hollow force. This is a short-sighted approach to a bigger problem. What the amendment says is that the Secretary shall give priority under this paragraph to be carried out as funding or appropriations becomes available. First. Secondly, nothing in this section shall be construed to supersede the Army's manning of Brigade combat teams at designated levels, and it requires Congressional Defense Committee to have a report on the current manning of each Brigade combat team of the Army. It also ensures that the Army National Guard Brigade combat teams are maintained at 26, and this accounts for the deactivation of 2 Air National Guard Brigade combat teams previously agreed to. Now, you may ask, why do we need 32 Brigade combat teams? At the height of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, we had 48 Brigade combat teams, and things, if we've noticed, in the Middle East are getting worse, not better. This is not to say that we will commit these troops, but it will be to say that we shall maintain our readiness. Next, the Army's key weapon system is the Brigade combat team. This amendment protects that key weapon from those cuts. And lastly, reducing Brigade combat teams does not, I emphasize, does not make existing Brigade combat teams more ready. It wears them out. If you have fewer teams, they are deployed more often in whatever activity they are deployed to, and that just stretches that manpower and that woman power potentially to the break. Under this, with the higher level of force, there is less stress upon those who are there maintaining their readiness. In total, this amendment requires the Army to take a closer look at their strategy and risk, forcing the Army to think long-term instead of just cutting the most crucial part of our force, which is the people, the human capital, our fellow citizens. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield back. And I observe the absence of a quorum.
Clerk will call the roll.